The markets have been extremely difficult the past several months, guys. But this very, very bullish signal just flashed, and this could signal that much better times are ahead. Now, I don't have a crystal ball, but I'm gonna go into what this signal is, and we're gonna take a look at some very significant patterns, charts, and, well, history doesn't always repeat, but it rhymes. And I've really taken a bet on this pattern, on this signal. So stick with me, guys. I'm gonna show you what I've been doing, how I played my bags over the past few days, what I'm doing, what the big boys are doing, and what we have to look forward to ahead. If you're excited for this, guys, do me a favor, destroy that like button. What's up? My name is Chasse. I've been crypto for 12 years. I'm here in Singapore at token 2049. So that's why videos are a bit sparse right now, but I want to bring you this and I want to still keep you in the loop. So I'm going to try to do my best to make a few of these while I'm here. So without further ado, let's look at just the Bitcoin chart. And of course, it's just looks like the Bitcoin chart has been. It doesn't matter. This doesn't matter, right? We're not looking at short-term timeframes. Short-term timeframes are incredibly difficult to play. I've never played short-term timeframes in my life. And from what I see here, 57,646, to me, it's a really interesting time to participate in the market, right? And there's a lot of apathy. People just don't care. People have left, they quit, they're going home. Historically, what I think I've learned from being in crypto for 12 years is these are always the time when things tend to take off, when things just feel absolutely like no one gives a shit anymore. And we don't have the most recent data yet. It just hasn't come in yet from the ETFs. But as we can see over here, we still have positive inflow Fidelity racking in on the 13th, Friday the 13th, 102 million. Good job, Fidelity. BlackRock, nada for a little while over here, but it's okay. Still $263 million swooped up off the market again on Friday, and we'll see very shortly here what the numbers, but not in this video. You guys can check it out, what the ETFs are doing. It doesn't really matter. But this week we have the Federal Reserve, and we've been talking about this for a long time. Of course, we expect rate cuts. Rate cuts will be bullish. Why? Well, we'll talk about that in a second. But it's good to see this meme again. This meme has always been fun in crypto. It signals bullish times ahead, typically. We've got the Fed from time of recording, 1 day and 16 hours and 44 minutes before we get the updates on the rate cut or not to rate cuts. Again, I believe somewhere between 25 and 50 basis points. And Zero over here says, Degen Gambla says, there's two things in life that you never want to fight, right? One is the Fed and one is Bitcoin seasonality. And as you can see here, again, from September to October, if you were to draw a line down here, it's a downward trend. But what happens in October to November? Bam, right? Same thing. And this was, by the way, this was the 2016 and 17 bull run, and 2021 bull run. And this is over here, the 2016-17 bull run. Again, September to October, downward trend, and then November, bam, upward into bull market. So again, history rhyming, and the weakening of a dollar. So interest rates cutting will cause inflation, which will cause more money printing, which will cause the dollar to get weaker, which causes the Bitcoin and other assets that are traded against the dollar to get stronger. This is historically how things just work. It's actually just logic. It literally it is. This is a signal, ladies and gentlemen, that has been flashing. You guys have probably heard it before if you've been in the space for a while. It is the golden cross. And as we can see here in the past, when this red line crosses over the blue line, bam, here, and bam, here, and bam, here. We see this wild rally that happens just after this golden cross. When this happens on the 2-month time frame, which it just did, ladies and gentlemen. So don't get shaken out. This is literally, I'm telling you, in 2020, in November, December, it just felt like we were trying to raise money for paid network and it just felt like nobody was interested in the market. And then come like beginning of January, it just exploded, right? Out of nowhere. So you have to be ready. Don't get disappointed. Don't get discouraged. This market is not going anywhere. This is a typical cyclical pattern. So MicroStrategy, Michael Saylor, Gigabrain, has acquired 18,300 Bitcoin for 1.11 billion at 60,408 per Bitcoin, and has achieved Bitcoin yield a 4.4 quarter to date and 17% year to date as of September 12th. They hodl 244,800 Bitcoin, acquired for 9.45 billion at an average of 38.585 per Bitcoin. Very, very, very bullish. So what can we take a look at over here? So you can see MicroStrategy has outperformed everything in the market, including NVIDIA and including Bitcoin. Why? Because they lever up. They're taking out debt, buying more Bitcoin. Bitcoin's appreciating, and they're just getting in the game, and people buy the stock. So the stock has performed at a 913% compared to NVIDIA at 859 and Bitcoin at 378. So people were saying before, when the ETF started trading, there was no more point for MicroStrategy, right? And well, you tell me. So this is one of my wallets here, guys, and I'll show you. So you can see as of 3 days ago, I'm doing the same thing that Michael Saylor has been doing. I collateralize my assets, and then I take a loan, $508,000. I use 1 inch. I swap to buy wrapped Bitcoin. I did a little bit more, and then I deposit my newly purchased wrapped Bitcoin into Aave, and then I get this receipt, my Aave wrapped Bitcoin, right? And this is my receipt of my collateral. So I borrowed. This is exactly what Michael Saylor is doing, right? And then I did it again just 10 hours ago, guys. So this, for me, I'm buying more Bitcoin right here using the tools that we have in wonderful world of crypto, DeFi, and decentralization of Aave in order for me to be able to do the exact same thing that Michael Saylor is doing. I've got about 18 new Bitcoin over the past 3.5 days or so. So I'm ready for that. If it tells you one thing, where my feelings are per the market, that's how I'm feeling. So few see this, says over here, unlike coin, MicroStrategy is doing better than Bitcoin. It never left its 6-month range and is trading at prices equivalent to Bitcoin at 65,000. Many thought that with the Bitcoin spot ETFs, there will no longer be an appetite for MicroStrategy. So far, they are wrong. And as Michael Saylor says over here, check this out.
But it's been a great journey since August 10th of 2020. MicroStrategy's bought about $8.3 billion worth of Bitcoin, and Bitcoin's up 44% a year on average since then. The S&P is up 12%. And since we levered it, we're up 825%. The number one performing stock in the S&P is NVIDIA, up 821% as of Friday. So we beat every single company in the S&P index using a Bitcoin strategy.
Does MicroStrategy now do anything else?
We still run the software business, and it's generally a cash cow for us. But our primary business is a Bitcoin development company. So what we're doing is we're securitizing Bitcoin. We're selling convertible bonds for people that don't want the full volatility and all the risk of Bitcoin. Some people want 150% risk, right? So some people want highly levered equity, and they trade the options. And so we have a very big, deep, rich options market. We've got high performance equity, and then we've basically pioneered the Bitcoin-backed bond market by issuing all of these convertible bonds that are backed by 5x more Bitcoin collateral.
So there you go, guys. Literally same kind of methodology. Now, again, I've said this before. If you've been following my channel, if you're not subscribed and you're watching this, make sure you subscribe because then you would know all this stuff already. But you don't think that other Fortune 500 companies or publicly traded companies are going to be observing or are already on the path to doing what Michael Saylor is doing? Why wouldn't anybody else be doing this? It just makes a lot of sense. I mean, crazy gains in the stock market, and 950% gains is just unheard of. It's insane. And I don't know why my researcher gave me this poll. I went to this X account. It's extremely biased, but it doesn't matter. I've been thinking about this debate or the election for a while. And, you know, as much as I think that Trump winning would be much better, I think this is obvious for that. And for so many other reasons, I would prefer that was the outcome. But I don't know what's going to happen. But the point is, for me, you know, and when we look at Polymarkets right now, Polymarkets says, okay, Kamala Harris at 50%, Trump at 49%. This kind of flip-flops. We shall see. And then this other person who's like this other person has predicted that Harris is going to win. It's a pretty, to me, that's pretty sad. And I think that even if you're a Democrat, you're not really voting for Harris. You're voting for the Democratic Party and just not Trump. And I believe that you're going to get 4 more years of the same thing. And when you're in crypto, you're going to get very mostly anti-crypto or definitely not pro-crypto types of policies, which is going to be unfortunate for the United States, unfortunate for US citizens, unfortunate for the development of crypto in the United States. Doesn't mean it's going to die there, right? Because it's been going for a long time. It just means that there's going to be more lack of clarity, more enforcement actions, these kind of things. But it hasn't, and this is, where is this thing? And so this is one thing that I thought was interesting. The SEC claims that when it said crypto asset securities, it never meant tokens or actual securities. Now, this was from the court document from the Binance case, basically saying that SEC is kind of backpedaling a little bit. And maybe that's because they understand that you need some sort of crypto innovation. I don't really know, to be honest with you. But, we haven't had, so far, the crypto markets have been just fine. Bitcoin adoption has been doing great. And we haven't had favorable, clear regulations in the United States thus far. I think that a lot of people are putting a lot of weight on the outcome of the election and thinking that the markets are going to be heavily dependent on it. Either party that wins is going to end up printing a lot of money, going to stimulate the economy. Interest rates are going to go lower. Dollar will get weaker. Bitcoin will get stronger. Outcome remains largely the same, ladies and gentlemen. And Trump is launching World Liberty Fi. I'm not going to play this because whatever. And he's added Sandy, who was co-founder of Scroll, to the advisory. And guys, I've been telling you about Fantom for a long time. I think Fantom is really interesting. So Fantom, why is it interesting? It's because it's a layer 1 EVM. So it's basically competing directly with Ethereum. Not a layer 2, but it's a layer 1 where you're going to be able to use MetaMask and all that stuff. It's just going to be way faster, way more efficient. Again, this is all theoretical right now. Ansem saying 10,000 TPS. It's got a bridge, blah, 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 blah. 90% of gas spent goes back to apps, which is going to encourage a robust developer ecosystem. So they're going to actually make money if they add value to the ecosystem, which makes a lot of sense to me. Chain level incentives, all of the best ETH tooling and integrations, 5 new DeFi primitives. Sonic Foundation has a $500 million treasury. Will look and feel like an ETH L2, but gas will be much, much faster. And so this is Fantom. I've been talking about it for a while. When you look at the market cap, it's not very much right now. And it's almost fully diluted as well. Remember, this is going to switch over to Sonic. But let's just say, call it right in the middle between fully diluted and circulating at $1.5 billion market cap. When you go back over and you look at the other L1s, you've got, that's a 200x to get to Ethereum. Now, I'm not saying it's going to, but hey, there you go. I mean, that just from perspective there, it is essentially a 50x to get to Solana. You've got, what's another one? Like you've got a 10x to get to Ton, or even more if you look at the fully diluted. You've got a 20x here, right? 18, 20x, whatever. Tron. So I think Fantom, when it comes down to narratives, Andre Cognier, there's a lot of influencers behind it. I definitely think this thing's going to fly. And when it comes down to a kind of more risk-reward opportunity, I think Fantom is in a pretty good position right now for all things ahead. Now, ladies and gentlemen, Caspa, which I told you guys about a long time ago, is up 900% as you look over here, or 875% since I've been telling you guys about it for a long time. And what have they done? They released their KRC20s yesterday. I haven't had time to look into it, but I just want to bring it to your attention. And the last piece of news today on the agenda, guys, is BasedAI, PepeCoin, have announced, finally, long overdue, but better late than never, the brain burn, or the brains are coming. So on September 30th is the date, finally, when I first told you guys about PepeCoin, and this was supposed to be happening just in a month or two after I made that video. Well, 5 months later, we finally have it coming. Like I said, better late than never. And the devs apparently want to be perfectionist and make sure that this went really well, which is great. Let's hope it does. But this is very bullish. This should be a huge burn on supply of PepeCoin. Those of you who've been staking PepeCoin for BasedAI, I'm told, don't hold me to this, but I'm told that also we should be getting news very, very soon about BasedAI mainnet. As we know, the brains for BasedAI are leading into the mainnet. I believe should be happening, shortly after all of this. I'm told we'll get news and announcements of the mainnet and the timeline coming very, very shortly, hopefully this week. And let me know in the comments if there's anything I should be looking out for here while I'm in Singapore. Also, by the way, I'm gonna go to Brian Johnson's Don't Die Summit in 2 days from now, which I'm really, really excited to do. I've been adopting kind of this lifestyle, and I will tell you guys more and more about that probably as soon as I'm back from Singapore, and as that becomes more a center focal point. I think there's a lot of interesting things going on here that you should be excited for. So I'll catch you guys in the next one. See you later. Bye-bye.